Hello world and welcome back to Organised Chaos. Today I want to run over my past week and what a week it's been. So on Tuesday, probably more so Wednesday last week, I got quite sick for the first time in a long time. So when COVID first hit back in 2020 or late 2019, I thought that being in my situation, obviously, working with a lot of people, at the time I was a personal trainer, and then obviously building out Fitness Compound, I thought I would be prone to getting COVID quite quickly. Anyways, it never eventuated for me, and I heard a lot of horror stories, and I was quite conscious of making sure I kept myself clean, kept the gym clean, etc. But I never got it, which was amazing until last week. So on Wednesday, I came to work in the morning and I was a little bit lethargic, but nothing crazy. Maybe I just thought I was a bit tired, needed a little bit more caffeine on that day. Anyways, by lunchtime, I was done. I'd signed, sealed, delivered myself home. I was out of here. I just started to get like real run down. I had a headache. My body wanted to stop. So I went home early on the Wednesday, and that day I started to look at I'm like, if I can just cancel my afternoon on the Wednesday, come back on Thursday, like refreshed, ready to go. But as the day got on, it only got worse and worse. So I'm not one to try and miss out on any work. So, and I'm probably the opposite. I'm trying to find more work for myself. So I was very reluctant in trying to cancel people for the next day and try and cover my classes at the gym, etc. So I covered the morning, and then I was like, as I got worse and worse, I'm like, I don't think I'm going to be able to do it all tomorrow. So I canceled my whole Thursday. I had to send out some messages, let people know, and then luckily we had Jackson and Morgan be able to cover my classes for the Thursday. And then Wednesday night rattled me. I had a headache. My body was sore. Everything was aching. I had no energy whatsoever, quite lethargic. Your typical COVID sob story. Anyways, woke up Thursday morning and I was no better. I was quite content with cancelling the whole day. I was like, I didn't wake up going, oh damn it, I wish I had kept those clients in or anything like that. If anything, I was probably a little bit worse. The body aches were getting worse. I wasn't wanting to move. And I was silly enough to commit to doing 100 burpees every day. So I still had to get those 100 burpees done at some stage throughout the day. I was chipping away very, very slowly at them. I would do 10. It would probably take me a minute to do 10, but I would get them done, and then I'd chip that off, and then I'd have to set up the camera again and do 10 more once I started to feel a little bit better. Every time I finished the burpees and I would stand back up, my head felt like it had been rattled in a jar, like it was just, it was pounding. But we got through them on the Thursday. Thursday night I had the body aches that kept me awake. Like my feet were killing me. My core was just real sore. Anyways, I was up and down. Like Beck said, I was like moaning and groaning overnight, just this hurts. And because I'm not used to being sick, I think it rattled me even more. Anyways, I woke up Friday morning and I felt a little bit better. Still not great. On the Thursday, I'd cancelled my whole Friday, cancelled my whole Saturday. I've written the whole week off just because I'd tested positive. And I just knew that I could definitely deal with some, do with some rest. I was ready to I was content with taking the rest of the week off anyway. So I took the Friday off. And on Friday morning felt a little bit better in regards to body aches and the headache, etc. But then I come down with the runs. So I had the runs on Friday. And then Friday night I had this like dry cough that kept me up. Saturday I started to feel a little bit better. And started to do more around the house. I started to move around a bit more. The burpees became a little bit easier. How sick I felt was dependent on how many burpees I could get out without feeling like absolute dog crap. So on the Saturdays, I was able to get out sets of 25, whereas on the Thursday and the Friday, I was lucky to get 10 in a row without feeling like my world was going to end. So I was definitely feeling a little bit better. And then Mother's Day was the Sunday, and I couldn't see Mum. And it was also my dad's birthday during that week as well. And we had planned to go over there, and unfortunately, I wasn't willing to risk them getting sick, and I didn't really want to sort of open them up to that option anyway. So we cancelled our plans on the Sunday, which is quite annoying because I was actually prepared with a present for the first time in a long time. So I really wanted to show it off. So we ended up dropping it over, doing a little drop and run for Mum for Mother's Day. But I wanted that glory of like having the best, present for Mum for Mother's Day. My sister and I generally make it a competition as to who can get a better present. And to be honest, 90% of the time she wins through default of me getting them Bunnings cards on the way there or whatnot. But this time I prepared. I actually bought these, it's for the baby really. It's like a 1 to 12 month little progress photo frame thing. Anyways, I got one for Beck, I got one for Jody, and I got one for my mum. And I was really, really excited. I actually got Bron to bloody wrap them for me because I don't know how to wrap a present to save my life. But I was so excited to give it to her, and then to not see the reaction, to get a text message as a return. You can't catch COVID through the phone, Mum, so you could have called me, but that's fine. I probably could have called you as well. But yeah, unfortunately I wasn't able to see Mum on Mother's Day. But I'll see her sometime this week, I'm sure. But yeah, the COVID side of things absolutely ruined me. So I came back to work yesterday, being Monday, and I tried to do a little bit of exercise. We did like a little full body weighted session. And I just kept everything really, really light because I knew that getting back into it, it wasn't going to be easy. My body just felt, weak. So getting back into it, I just kept everything really light. And I did 3 sets of, I think it was like 12 reps of like just a dumbbell squat with like 12 kilos, nothing crazy. And I was holding onto the dumbbell, and I did like halfway through my first set, and I could feel my quads start to seize up, and I'm like, uh-oh, this isn't good. Especially as I just started this bloody running program, and I was getting into it, and I've got 6 weeks to crack this 18-minute mark for 5Ks, and I was on a roll. I was on a bit of a roll. I was tracking everything training-wise. I'd hit the ground running, and then COVID hit me like a bus. So I did that set of squats, and my legs felt like I'd never done a squat in my life. And I did a few other little exercises, did a couple of hamstring curls as well. Anyways, I've woken up this morning, and my legs are absolutely cooked. It did not take much to ruin my legs. My upper body's not too bad, but my legs were ruined. So today I'll try and do a little run. It's quite wet outside, so I'll try and do a run on the treadmill and see how that feels. We've got basketball tonight. So hopefully my legs are feeling a little bit fresher for that, but I'm not giving them much hope. I'll probably give this week off the running plan and probably just try and get my base back a little bit and see how I feel, and then try and get back onto that running plan, just because with that running plan it made me consistent. Like, I'd never run 5 times, and I still haven't at the moment, 5 times in 1 week. I think I got No, I got through the first week. So the week before I got COVID, I did the full week, which was 5 sessions, 5 running sessions in the week. And then last week I did the Monday, I did the Tuesday, and then I didn't do the Wednesday onwards. So I'll give this week a rest, and then I'll get back onto that running plan because I really want to run a sub 18-minute 5K at the Gold Coast Marathon, which is the first weekend in July. So I've given myself, I think I've got about 6 weeks from now to nail that, which I've run about an 1840 before. So I'm trying to shave 40 seconds off it. But that 1840 came with very minimal training. So I was hoping that me going from running once or twice a week with no real structure to me having a structured 5-day running plan, I could shave 40 seconds off my 5K PB. Look, it's probably pretty optimistic, but I'm willing to give it a crack, and that's the goal at the moment. And if I don't get it there, that's not the end of the world because I'll keep pushing towards it. But I wanted a time frame on it, and I think an event definitely helps. If I can get out into the clear quite easily and not have too many people around me slowing me down to start with, and I can get my pace and I can sort of sit at my pace, hopefully with the training underneath my belt, I can get close to that 18-minute mark, if not under, which would be unreal. So that's the goal at the moment, and I think COVID obviously hindered it a little bit, but if I can get my feet back underneath me this week and then start to build on it. I also noticed yesterday a lady came into the gym while we were training, and I had to chat to her, and I was just trying to talk and I just had no breath. And like, it wasn't like my heart rate was high or anything like that. I was just trying to literally chat to her in between a workout, and I wasn't doing anything high intensity, and my breath, I felt like I just couldn't catch it. So I'm hoping that over the next few days that starts to get a lot better, and it hasn't screwed me over too much. But only time will tell, and I think I'll just put myself in the best position to be ready to go and start that training program again as of Monday next week. The running has sort of come about just because I started to get quite not good at it, but I was seeing results with minimal work, which is hard to come by. Like I didn't deserve to get under 19 minutes for the amount of work that I put into it. And it definitely wasn't easy when I did run it. Like, it's not like I cruised in under 19 minutes. I was pushing, my technique would have been out the window. My mouth was wide open. I would have been catching flies. Like, it was quite poor technique. And I just want to see results from that. It sort of probably made me think, if I actually put a bit of work and effort into this, I might be able to do a decent time and try and push for something that's not half bad. And I would love to see a 17 something now. Like, it sort of motivated me to see that. I'm done with anything long distance. I think 5Ks is my max. Like, the runs that I have to do leading into it, there's a few like hour-long runs, etc. Nothing too crazy, but I'm not going to be out setting like trying to do 10Ks or anything bigger anymore. I think the 5Ks is where it's at for me, if not shorter. Like, I like that shorter distance stuff. It's also a time thing. When I trained for the marathon, I was spending bloody 8 to 10 hours a week running, which at the moment I can't do that. Like, I don't want to be doing that anyways. I've got better places to spend that time. So for me, 5Ks is plenty. And if I can get back to running those 5 times a week with the sprint sessions and the shorter runs, etc., I'll feel quite content and quite confident that I'll be able to at least break my PB at the Gold Coast Marathon, and if not, try and get that sub 18 minutes, which is the goal. So this week, just trying to get back into the swing of things, trying to pump out a few podcasts, try and get my life back in order. What I did notice is, while I was sick, So every morning I wake up and I have to check, well, I don't have to, but I do. I check my bank accounts to see what's gone in and out for the businesses, just to keep on top of it. Because if I let it like go for too many days, then I'm chasing my tail too much. So every morning I would wake up and do that. While I was sick, I didn't get a chance to do that, and it made me realize why I do that every day, because I had to go back, like I had to scroll back 3-4 days, and a lot goes on in 3-4 days, especially when you're running a gym. A lot of things going in, a lot of things going out. So I had to make sure that they all lined up and they all made sense, and put them in their right categories. And it felt like something that takes me 5 minutes every morning. If I don't do that 5 minutes every morning, it can take me hours to try and figure it all out if I do miss it for a few days. So my routine of doing that quickly came back into play as soon as I started to feel better, because I knew how much of a headache it is once it does go missing, and I do miss it for a few days. So that routine's back. My food's back in place now. As soon as I get sick, all I want to do is eat crap or eat something easy that's not the norm. Like when I am feeling fine, I can eat the same thing all day, every day. But as soon as I start to feel like crap, I just want something different, which I'm sure is like most people, but I feel like I ate out way more, not like I got takeaway way more than I would have if it was a normal week. I just started writing up this budget on trying to like minimize any stupid spending, and I blew it within like a day and a half of being sick. So that's been back to normal now. I'm back to food prepping, back on the oats train now that it's got a little bit colder. So I'm having oats for breakfast, etc. So my food's back on track. My schedule's back on track. Everything's back to normal now. And then this weekend we go away. So this weekend we're in Byron for the baby moon. There's a lot of things about babies that I had no idea. Like a baby moon, that was never a thing, I don't think. Like, where did that come from? A push present. They're just literally just putting things, like they're making things up now. I don't know what that is. But I've got to organise a push present, which I haven't organised yet. And a baby moon. When do you give while she's pushing, when do you give a push present? Anyways, I've got to organise a push present, and we've got the baby moon. We're down in Byron this weekend, Beck and I, from Friday through to Sunday, which is exciting, just for something different. Hopefully the weather clears up for us and we can sort of dabble around there a little bit, which would be nice. So I need to get everything organised because we leave for that on Friday lunchtime. And at the moment, I'm still getting calls a couple times a day in regards to the house stuff, where that's getting a lot closer to being done, which is good. While I was sick, it was a nightmare because they've obviously still doing all the kitchen stuff. So anytime I would try and sleep, I'd get a knock on the door because they knew I was home. I'd get a knock on the door asking me a question, or this bloody grinder would go, or something would be like, it wasn't a peaceful few days at home, that's for sure. Like, it was probably a poor time to get sick, but it was also good to be there to sort of oversee anything. Not that I knew that I was what I was looking at, but it was good to see what was going on. And then Beck would come home and change the idea anyways, and we'd have to move things, and I'd be the one reporting back and saying, hey, the boss doesn't like this, or can we do this, or what's going on with this, that sort of thing. But it is good to see that everything's sort of coming along nicely with the renos at home. We're hoping that the whole kitchen's decked out by the end of May, and then the flooring will start at the beginning of June, which is unreal. So if we can have everything done by the first week of June, we'll be laughing, which is unreal. So I'm very excited for that. I'll leave it there for today. I'll hopefully jump back on for another one this week. I'm getting closer and closer to having guests on here. So I'm going to start outsourcing some guests and try and get a list and try and figure out when we can do podcasts with guests. Because at the moment, I do them at bloody 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. And I dare say It's going to be hard to pull a guest on here at that time, so I'll have to figure out what works best, but we'll try and figure out a bit of a schedule, whether it's like Monday nights, podcast night or something like that. But thank you again for listening. Make sure you subscribe, like, share, tell all your friends about it, tell your parents about it, anyone you know, put it on your local community page. Speaking of community pages, if you're in the area, we've just started the Mollendina community page, so give that one a follow on Facebook as well. All right, guys, thanks for listening.